And so I have a greater reverence for the greater family, for the fact that I am a representation of all the women that came before me. I really think about that actively, and I go out of my way to try and break generational curse. I go out of my way to feel gratitude that I have the opportunities that they didn't. I have the opportunities to have my own bank account. I have my, all of that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of one-on-one familial things that I don't agree with. One of them being, for example, what I wrote here, people feeling entitled to you for only sharing DNA with them. I detest that. I detest that wholeheartedly. And so when I've spoken to people and how they communicate with their family members, I can be very quick to be like, I just wouldn't take that. I wouldn't hang out with them. I wouldn't let them have access to me. I'd stop talking to them. I'd cut them off. That can be very jarring to people. But that's because that was one thing that really grated me very early on about my father's entrance into my life at that later age that I discussed around 9, is he just came in feeling entitled to hearing about how my life is going, to extracting all of this information from me and not giving anything back. He never gave me any advice of subtle substance. All he did and said is like very generic adult things. Make sure to keep your grades up, be a good girl. Like, what's that going to do for me, sir? Please, like, what am I supposed to do with that? Be a good girl in this day and age? Good girls get taken advantage of. Like, you want me to be a good girl so that you can put me in the patriarchal system so that I can find a man and be a good girl to him while he goes and sleeps around? No, please. Can you see the masculine energy in me? Can you see that air signness? Like, people are always like, oh my God, Libra women, they're so girly and they're so and so the Libra women are masculine. Okay, we are just as masculine as we are feminine. And so the idea of this man coming into my life, thinking that just because he contributed his seed to the process of conception, I am supposed to hold reverence for him. I'm supposed to look up to him when he's done absolutely fuck all. And the things that he did, I thought were subpar, and I thought were lacking, and I thought, he wasn't a man of his word. And so, yeah, I have definitely learned when I was younger that family can have these expectations of you, and they get away with a lot because, especially when you're a woman, being socialized to be a people pleaser. I'm a people pleaser not just because of my father wound, my mother wound, being a woman. It's because of women's socialization. It's because we are socialized to ignore our needs. As a first eldest African daughter, my role was all about doing things for other people, pleasing other people. If people commented on my body, commented on my sense of style, that was supposed to mean something. I was supposed to adjust my behavior based on that critique. I was supposed to take that shit seriously, okay? I was so well trained in this like whole being the eldest daughter, being the eldest African daughter. I can remember one time I was home alone. I was probably 10 or something. Home alone, this uncle comes, like some, I don't know, uncle somewhere in the family. He wasn't expected to be there. So of course I received them. I was like, oh, people aren't going to be home until this time. Do you want something to eat? Do you want something to drink? He's like, yes, of course. I led him to the couch. I got out, I got him a glass of water. I remember the power was off that day, and I was really happy to show him how grown I was. And so I stoked a fire, got it together. The fire was like right outside the kitchen. That's normally where we cooked if we had to cook outside instead of inside. Stoked the fire. I remember what I cooked too. I made rice, and in the rice, once it started boiling and once it really started like getting going, I added frozen